everyone, and welcome to another Draw and Talk. This week, the first thing I'm doing is what I said I would do last week, which is I took the sketch of Jaden I did last week, and I touched it up in Psy, and now it's all colorful and everything, and so yay! Speaking of the video last week, thank you guys so much for the response. A lot of you were like, oh, the quality doesn't really bother me, it's fine. I do like your, sketching in traditional, so I was like, huh, thanks. So, I was very surprised, I guess you could say, at the response. Very glad to hear it. I might try to do it again in the future. No promises that it'll be too often. Maybe once every very rarely, I guess. Mostly just because it took so many sketches to fill a whole Draw and Talk segment, I guess you could say. I sketch and finish up the sketches way too quickly for a full video, so that's what I was trying to explain last week, but I was running out of time, so I was just oh, blah blah blah, really fast at the end. It took only half an hour per thing, I guess you could say. The first drawing I did last week took half an hour, and then the next drawing I did, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the Sweetie Ethan one. That one took half an hour, I think? Or maybe even not that, because I remember the actual files being half an hour in length, and I don't think I cut from the Ethan Sweetie one to the next page of sketches, so maybe that whole second segment of sketches was half an hour, I don't know. But point is, it all went very quickly, and I didn't have enough to warrant, slowing it down in the video, because I had already slowed it down more than I usually do, so it's what do I do now? I ended up doing, I think 2 or 3 recordings in order to fill up last week's video, so again, it depends on whether I feel like it, and I might even do the thing where I did part of the video traditionally and part of it digitally. I might do that in the future, because that did help with, filling out time. But yeah, so that's the first thing I'm drawing is the Jaden, and then I drew Jaden again because I got an ask on my super special blog that I created some weeks ago, because I think I told you guys about this, where I was like, it would be really fun to make an RP blog for Jaden, Manny, and Flavia, and I totally did, so check out the description if you would like to check out the blog. I have a lot of posts, and they go up every day or every other day, so take a look at that if you're interested. Yeah, the second drawing I'm doing in this is for one of the asks I got on that blog, so I was like, what perfect timing, I can record this and respond, and then I have some more Draw and Talk footage. Then after that, I went in and did the line art for an animation I'm working on. It's another Jaden, yeah, and it's a lot of hair animation and a bit of other animation, body animation, but you'll see, I guess. I did the line art in the recording, and then afterwards I cleaned up the line art, I cleaned up all the jumpiness, and then went in and colored and shaded and everything, so you'll be able to see that at the end, but I didn't record that bit. It's just so tedious, and I had already done 2 other recordings that I already promised, and it was I'll only record the line art for right now, so you'll be able to see that. And as for the video that's for, you're just gonna have to find out at a later date, because I don't want to tell you what it's about, because I don't know whether I'll finish it. What am I saying? I'm definitely gonna finish it, but I don't know when I'm gonna finish it, so there's that. So a couple other things happened in this past week. I went and saw The Incredibles 2! It was so good! I love it so much, you don't understand. If you've seen it, don't say any spoilers in the comments, but just join me in freaking out about it, because I love it a lot. And you know what I did? I ordered a, you know those mystery box bag things? I totally ordered a Void figure off Amazon for entirely too much money, but I really wanted it. So now I have that. Because it just came in today, actually, as I'm recording this. It just arrived. I can't wait for the rest of my package to arrive, because what I also ordered was some micron pens, which is basically some fine liners for traditional art, and I cannot wait for that to arrive. I've been kind of debating whether or not to get them for a while. They've been in my list of things that I most want lately, and since I was ordering that silly figure, I was like, you know what? Why not? Let me just get it right now, and it'll be good, so I did that. And then, okay, so what I also did this past week was I hosted another session of my D&D game, which is called Surface Scouters, and I know you guys who have been listening for a few weeks now have heard of this. And so we recorded session 4 on Sunday, and if you've been listening to Surface Scouters, you need to listen to session 4, because there is a part so funny that I could not breathe, and my players just they just kept taking the joke forward more and more, and I just couldn't. It's just, I don't want to tell you anything else other than it was hilarious. And if you've been listening to Surface Scouters, please listen to session 4, because that has been just the funniest. It's so good. I don't know what else to say. There's a link in the description to the playlist. Have fun, because it was, I can't. So good. So that's all the good news that happened this past week. The bad news is, okay, so I don't remember what Drawn Talk I mentioned this in, and I don't remember who responded or whatever, but, those of you who have been listening for a while might remember that we had a fish who was a very big boy, a very good big boy. And unfortunately, this past week, he ended up dying, and it was very sad. And mostly I'm sad for my mom, because I feel like she feels like she's responsible. And I know this might sound silly because it's a fish, but we've had this fish for like 2.5 years, and we are always like bragging about him, and I don't know, we gushed about him a lot, so it was very sad to see him go. We even did a burial for him, which I know, it's a fish, but we loved him, so it was very sad and unfortunate. I'm, again, mostly sad for my mom, because I think she really loved that fish a lot, because to her, he was, like, very silly. He would splash out of the water a lot, and she, people always look for things like that, and it's like, oh, he's being silly, instead of just like, oh, he's being a fish. But yeah, it's just stuff like that, because the fish was basically in where she would sleep all the time, and she doesn't sleep very much. So at night, like, the only things that would be going on would be, like, her doing something on her tablet or crocheting or something, and Feldman, our fish, would be, like, off to the side either making, like, bubbly noises, splashing around, or something, and it would just, I feel like she really enjoyed that, and it's just really sad for her, because, again, I think she feels like it's her fault. But I'm like, Mom, please don't think it's your fault. Like, I've just been thinking about that the whole time. I'm like, please, Mom. But yeah, so that's been sad. But I guess you could say the good news about the fish tank in general, I can't remember who told me about this, but when I talked about my fish last, about how we got snails and stuff, someone in the comments was like, oh yeah, our snails would breed a lot, and I was like, oh, well, I grew up with snails, and I don't remember them ever having a lot of babies, and guess what? Our snails are totally having babies, so it's like, I mean, I guess it's great that the snails are having some big happy families. They're not actually, like, developed yet or anything, it's just like, oh, we know they're coming. So I guess that's the good news about the fish tank, is we're gonna get more snails, and snails are always good, so there's that. But to get off this general topic, I guess I would have to say, look, I don't even know what to talk about anymore. I already talked about everything I wanted to, and I was like, this Drawn Talk will take a while. I'll easily get 15 minutes of audio from talking about all this, but I was like, I have to get through it fast! So I skipped over a bunch of, I guess, little things that I don't know. Ooh, I guess I'll talk about what I worked on this past week. I did some character drawings I took my D&D characters that I play as, and not like my NPCs for my games, but like that I've actually played as, and my RP characters in general. I took them, and it was a while ago, but our D&D group was like making opposites of the characters that we had. So I took all the RP characters that I cared about a lot, and I did the thing where I was like basically anti my characters. And I think they all turn out really great, but I've been like not wanting to post them because I'm like, there's literally 8 characters here, and if I just dump this, I don't want to bother any chatting or anything, and I don't want to, I just feel awkward and embarrassed about posting all the character drawings that I did. I don't know why, I've just been feeling like that for a few days. And gosh, I hope you cannot hear freaking lawnmower outside my window. Can't really do anything about that because I've been trying to, or not trying to, I've been meaning to record the audio for Draw and Talk for like a while now, so I just need to finish this now. I don't care if somebody's mowing their lawn. I'm sure you can't hear it anyway, because like every time I complain about like, oh, I hope you guys can't hear that, it's like you can't hear it, so it doesn't even matter. Ooh, you know what else from last week was brought up? Someone, I can't remember if it was only one person or more, but they were like, you should do a sketchbook tour, and I'm like, totally. And I definitely want to do that eventually, where I do a sketchbook tour. But some bad news, my friends. I totally ruined that Sweetie and Ethan picture. I don't even want to tell you how it happened, but basically, I totally ruined it. And now there's like a paper covering it in my sketchbook, so I'm like, well, what do I do with that page now? Because now it's just literally a blank page, and I'm so ashamed. I'm totally glad that I managed to take a picture of it before I ruined it, but now I don't know what to do with the blank space that it left, so I'm like, so that's a problem with my sketchbook, but other than that, everything else in my sketchbook is all nice and dandy. I mean, there's plenty of things where it's like, ugh, you know, because like sometimes you don't know what you're doing, and it makes this sort of a mess. And there's a few of those in my sketchbook, so it's like, I guess I'll see about doing a sketchbook tour. I mean, I definitely want to do it. But anyway, so this video is coming to a close. Thank you all so very much for coming once again to my Draw and Talk. I super appreciate that you come to these every week and see what I'm up to and tell me about what you've been up to. It's just very fun and reassuring to know that you guys are there, so just thank you very much. Have a lovely, lovely day, and bye-bye!